A while back, I was having lunch with a close colleague of mine in Nashville. Late 30s, early 40s, sharp as anything, says exactly what she thinks. We try to catch up a few times a year, and honestly, those lunches are some of my favorite conversations. We were well into our second glass of wine when she said something I've never forgotten, something I now share with almost every older man who comes into my practice. She told me the best sexual experience of her life was with a man in his 60s. I put my glass down. She said she'd been with a few men over the years. Some of them were good, genuinely good. But this man gave her an orgasm she didn't know her body was capable of. Not just intense, complete. The kind that moves through your entire body, not just one part of it. And she said the memory of it has never left her. Years later, still there. So I asked her, what did he actually do? And what she told me is the entire reason I'm making this video, because what she described was not complicated. It was not some secret technique nobody has ever heard of. It was something much simpler than that. And it is something that men over 60 are almost uniquely built to deliver, if they understand what it actually is and stop getting in their own way. Let me tell you exactly what it was. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Valerie Hayes, and every week I come to this channel and have the honest, practical conversations about sex and intimacy for men over 50 that most people are too uncomfortable to have anywhere else. Hit subscribe right now and stay with me, because this topic is worth your full attention. The first thing my colleague said was the simplest. And in 10 years of working with men and women, it is also the thing I hear women wish for more than almost anything else. He didn't rush. Now, before you move past that, I want you to understand what rushing actually looks like from a woman's side. Because most men who rush don't know they're rushing. They think they're being passionate, enthusiastic, into it. But here is what a woman feels. From the very first touch, most men are already somewhere else mentally. Their hands are on her body, but their mind is at the destination. Everything they do, the kissing, the touching, the undressing, all of it has this invisible pressure underneath it. A low hum of, okay, but can we get to the main thing? They just want to get things done fast so they can hit the honeypot. And women feel that every single time. And most of us have just accepted it as how men are. But this man was different. He was exactly where he was. When he was with her, he was with her. Fully, completely, in no hurry to get to the next stage. And she said something shifted in her body almost immediately. A kind of relaxation she didn't expect. A feeling of, oh, he's actually here. That relaxation is not just a nice feeling. It is physiological. You see, a woman's body cannot open fully, cannot build the kind of arousal that leads to a full body experience when there is urgency in the room. Pressure closes things down and patience opens them up. It is that direct. Men over 60 who have settled into themselves, who have moved past the frantic urgency of younger male sexuality. Those men can give a woman that feeling naturally. Younger men almost cannot. The biological drive is too loud. The need to get somewhere is too strong. So your pace at this stage of life is actually one of your greatest assets in bed. Most men over 60 don't know that. Now you do. The second thing she described is connected to the first, but it's more specific. And I want you to hear this clearly because it is something women almost never say directly to men. He worked on her body, all of it, for a long time. He didn't do it as a warm-up or as a box to check before the main event. He handled it like it was the event itself. She said he spent so long on her. Ate her neck, her shoulders, the inside of her arms, her lower back, the back of her knees, all of it. That by the time he moved anywhere near the most sensitive areas, she was already so aroused she was aching for him. She used a specific phrase that I want to share with you because it will help you understand the feeling. She said she was dripping before he even got there. That is what a full body approach produces. It's not magic, it's biology. Now see, every part of the body is connected. So when you spend real time on the parts women rarely have attended to, and I mean real time, not 30 seconds and then moving on, you are waking up the entire nervous system. By the time you arrive at the most sensitive places, her whole body is involved. And the experience she has is completely different from what happens when a man goes straight to the obvious areas and starts working. Unfortunately, most men go straight to the obvious areas and they miss everything. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you're with a woman, start far away, further than feels natural. Stay in each place longer than you think you need to. Move toward where you're going slowly enough that she begins moving toward you. And when she starts asking for what you haven't given her yet, that is when you know you've done this right. Let her ask. Let her want it. Let her body get so far ahead of the moment that by the time you arrive, she is already there. That is not cruelty. That is the most generous thing you can do for a woman's body. The third thing, and this is where most men need to hear something they've probably never been told directly. Use everything you have. Your hands, your mouth, your voice. Okay, we've talked about your hands, but your mouth? I mean, really use it. Not as a quick gesture, as serious, unhurried attention. The women who describe their most memorable sexual experiences almost always describe a man who used his mouth with the same patience and focus he used his hands, taking his time, paying attention, responding to what her body was telling him rather than following a routine. And your voice. This one surprises men. But the sound of a man's voice, warm, low, telling her she is beautiful, telling her he wants her, saying her name like it means something, does something to a woman that no physical technique can replicate. It makes her feel seen, present, wanted in a way that goes beyond the physical. Women who feel that combination, physical attention and the warmth of a man's voice actively engage with her, describe a level of arousal that is entirely different from what happens in silence. So talk to her. Tell her what you see. Tell her what you feel. And I don't mean pretending about it. Just the honest thing said in the moment. That is more powerful than most men realize. Now, the orgasm. My colleague told me something that I want every man over 50 to understand completely. She said she had multiple orgasms before he even entered her. I'm gonna let that sit for a moment. Multiple orgasms before penetration because he had taken his time, because he had worked on her whole body long enough for her to be completely, fully, overwhelmingly aroused, because he had used his hands and his mouth and his presence with patience and genuine attention. By the time he entered her, she had already had experiences she didn't know her body could have, and what followed built on that foundation in ways that she is still, years later, measuring other experiences against. This is available to any man over 60 who is willing to do what I've described. It is not about physical size. It is not about stamina in the conventional sense. It is about patience, attention, and the willingness to take the time to build something real before you try to arrive somewhere. Younger men are almost never willing to do this. The urgency won't let them. You, at this stage of life, have what it takes. The question is whether you use it. Now let me ask you, is what I'm saying is clicking for you? If you're hearing something today that you wish someone had told you years ago, subscribe to this channel right now. This is what I do here every single week. Real, practical, honest conversations about sex after 50. Things women want men to know but almost never say. If it's making sense to you, hit subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And let's keep going. The last thing my colleague told me, and this is the one I want to close on because I think it matters as much as everything else, was what he did after. He didn't leave. He didn't check his phone. He didn't roll over and disconnect. He stayed with her, held her, kept her close, talked to her softly, made her feel like the experience wasn't over just because the physical part was. And she said that was almost as powerful as everything that came before it, because here is something women carry that most men never hear. The moments after sex are some of the most vulnerable moments a woman experiences. She is opened up completely, physically, emotionally, and what a man does in those minutes tells her everything about whether that was real or just an act. A man who stays, who holds her, who keeps her in the warmth of his attention after, that man tells her without words that she mattered, that she was not just a means to an end, that he is genuinely glad to be there with her. And that feeling, that sense of being genuinely wanted beyond the act itself, is what makes a woman want to come back, what makes her think about you, what makes her describe you years later to a friend over lunch in Nashville with that particular kind of reverence in her voice. Men over 60 who have lived enough to understand that real intimacy doesn't end at orgasm. Those men are capable of giving a woman that experience completely, from the beginning to the very end of the encounter and into the quiet that follows. That is not a small thing. To a woman, that is everything. So let me bring it all together simply. Don't rush. Give her body the time it deserves. All of it. Not just the obvious parts. Use your hands, your mouth, your voice fully and without hurry. Let her reach the point where she is asking for you before you arrive. Let her have orgasms you built for her before penetration even happens. And when it's over, stay. Hold her. Keep her warm. Make her feel wanted beyond the moment. That is what my colleague in Nashville experienced. That is what she has never forgotten. That is what men over 60, when they choose to fully show up as who they are, patient, settled, genuinely focused, are capable of giving. Most younger men cannot do this, not fully, not yet, but you can. My weekly newsletter is where I continue this conversation without any restrictions this platform puts on me. What women say to each other about what they want and what they're not getting. Practical, specific, raw. Every week. It's built for men over 50 and over 60 who want to understand women at a level most men never reach. It's completely free. And the link is in the comment section and the description area. And just before you go, drop a comment below. Was there something specific today that hit home for you? Something from my colleague's story you recognized, or something you want me to go deeper on in a future video? Leave it below. I read every single one. And you might be speaking for more men than just yourself. I'll see you next week. Take good care.